Howdy, folks. We are back continuing our previews of the Game Master's Handbook of Patrons, Pacts, and Pantheons. I'm your author, Colby Whittaker. If you're just joining us for the first time, what is the Game Master's Handbook of Patrons, Pacts, and Pantheons? Well, if you are a DM or GM, you're running a fantasy tabletop game, you have divinities and deities and all these other supernatural beings that are really part of the fabric of these worlds with such important roles. And a lot of times you don't actually have any guidance or mechanics on how to implement and integrate them into your world in a way that is fun, easy to manage, and helps drive good storytelling. So this resource, this side, is all about that. So we've gone over how to build sort of fantasy metaphysics, the kinds of worlds you can have. We've talked about different models of religion and divinities. We've given example divinities. We've talked about the favor and gift system, which lets player characters sort of earn favor with different beings and receive gifts in return. We've also started talking about supernatural patrons. So this chapter is about pacts, oaths, and bargains. So this is sort of a touchstone, foundational, iconic piece of fantasy literature, movies, books, games, everything. This is a fairy bargain. This is a deal with the devil. This is a hero's oath. How do you actually implement those things in your game? What sort of incentives do you give to players? What sorts of restrictions or clauses do you have in there? So this chapter is all about how that unfolds. We're going to jump over to our PDF. That's not our PDF. That is my notes. We're going to jump over to our PDF. Looking over here, this is Pacts, Oaths, and Bargains. Once again, beautiful black and white line ink art from Luke Eidenschink. Absolutely fantastic job. Every piece is from him. He's phenomenal. Go look him up. His name is on the cover of the book when we get back there. Here we see one of our hospitality gods blessing a group that has welcomed them despite their sort of humble appearance. A perfect look for Koanos of many faces or Hager of the grain. But pacts, oaths, and bargains. So we talk a little bit about sort of what these things are, how they fit into the world. And here's one of the first big pieces, timing. And actually, the timing for this is perfect. I was just playing in my Sunday night game, running my Sunday night game this week, and my players drew the attention of an archfey. We've actually got two archfey in the mix. One is their host, who was trying to welcome them, and the other is her sister, who was messing with her. So to mess with her, she intercepted her guests before they could be welcomed as guests and have protections of hospitality extended to them. And along the way, I managed to weasel two of my party members into bargains with an archfey. And I want to talk a little bit about how we made that happen. So one of the recurring themes in this chapter is what is the carrot? What is the thing you dangle out in front of players that makes them take these deals that are oftentimes not in their favor? Well, one of the things you want to look at is, what does the player need really badly right now? Not down the road, not off in the future. What is something they want really badly that no one else can give them right this second? And that's how we hooked both of these players. Both players have sort of mysterious background elements that are very sort of saucy wine ant acting archfey was glad to hold out in front of them. One of them wanted to know about her ancestry. She was basically rescued as an infant and didn't know where she came from. The other one never knew who her father was. Both of these were examples of pieces of information that there wasn't a clear avenue on how they would find out more fast. So they got into this bargain, um, and the first actually got what she thought was a great deal. There was basically a divine domain, a section of spiritual real estate that didn't have a current owner. This archfey was watching it and was a guest of the guest house. And all she wanted from her was for her to take this little patch of spiritual real estate and maintain the guest house. In exchange, she got the information she wanted, which is great. But what she maybe didn't understand is that this archfey comes with the house. She's still the steward of the house, even if the house now resides in the spiritual domain of this PC. So now this archfey gets to tag along with all these fun adventures, and kind of has a hook in this player indefinitely. Now, the second one was in an even more interesting situation. The first one had been by themselves because they'd been kidnapped. This second player, though, the whole party had arrived, and the other archfey had arrived. All she had to do to protect herself from this bargain was to accept the hospitality of this other fey, freely given, no strings, at which point the first fey couldn't negotiate with her any longer. No matter how she tempted her, this first archfey was unable to bargain with the official guests of her sister. So, from an above-table perspective, I gave the player an out. If she wanted to, she could accept this hospitality, and then the pressure's off. She can't be tempted anymore. But that's the fun, because both the player and the character chose to follow the thread of temptation. They wanted that information so bad. And again, one of the great tricks of a fairy bargain or a devil deal, whatever you want to call it, we structure them a certain way, but we also note those structures are kind of arbitrarily named. But the trick here is superior information. These sorts of really powerful creatures, they don't negotiate from an equal footing with the players. And Archfey, in this case, not only knows more about the world, the magic, the metaphysics, but also in this case, they know more about the value of what a PC is carrying or what they might promise to do. So in this case, the PC, in a very, it's still a very difficult way, she gave up her heirloom scarf. Well, there might be things about that scarf that neither the player nor the character know yet, but the Archfey does. And so in the moment, she made a deal, working with the information she had, and this Archfey has probably gotten the better of her. But we got to experience that fun tension of watching this player walk into this moment. They saw that, they knew it was a mousetrap. They knew it was baited cheese, and they stepped into it anyway. And if you know what you're doing, you can put these kind of moments in front of people. So, yeah, if a paladin is sitting around a tavern on a perfectly sunny, bright day and everything is good, they are never going to make a deal with an archfiend. But if you put them in a situation where, say, a fiery ancient red dragon is burning down a village, and now the archfiend wants to talk. Now we're talking. The paladin wouldn't make the deal for themselves, but to save everyone, oh yeah, now we're starting to make a trade they're interested in. What is the soul of one paladin over the lives of 100 villagers? And maybe you offer exactly what's needed. Oh, how would you like immunity to fire damage? How would you like flight, a dragon-slaying sword? Exactly what's needed in this moment. Now, if the pressure wasn't on, maybe the player thinks, oh, I can go get those things. I'll go get a special item made. I'll go find a legendary item up on a mountain somewhere. Too bad. It's happening right now. And that's the trick. Timing. This is also retroactive, too. I think about this with warlocks a lot. How does your warlock enter into this patron relationship with their patron? There's a story there, and if it's not happening at the table, you should try to approach it with this same level of attention and thoughtfulness, because it really shapes this core relationship for that player throughout the whole campaign. So again, the same thing. Maybe this player is, maybe they were a child in a caravan being attacked by bandits, and this patron appears and gives them a chance to save their life. Or we might think of Full Metal Alchemist. Spoilers for a 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old anime. Equivalent exchange. After Ed and Al screw up and destroy Al's body, Ed gives up some of his limbs to save him. There's no like, I won't get into the deep spoilers. There's some personalities involved in this, but that core mechanic of, I need something right now, and someone can give it to me, and I'm willing to pay excessively for it. That's the core of these things. And man, this really drives great tension at the table. Player characters get backed into these oaths and bargains and pacts and contracts, and that gets to hang over them. Now, you always want to remember that those things exist. They're adversarial by nature. The whole point of the contract is to get something the PC doesn't want to give up. And so this is a perfect opportunity. Come back to that later. Put them in positions where they have to choose between the thing they want now and the promise they already made. And maybe they try to get out of their contract. Leave them wiggle room. Give them opportunities. We talk about some mechanics of how to do that. But it's also just, that's where the fun is. These patrons sort of hanging over their shoulder, giving them cursed monkey paw, benefits, and leading them into things they wouldn't normally want to do. We might think of, some of the famous patrons from Critical Role. There's spoilers, early-ish spoilers, campaigns 1 and 2. There's Percy's demonic patron. There's Ford's relationship with Ukatoa. Again, both of these come out of desperation. They give the player something they want, but it becomes a continual hook that keeps pulling at them and dragging them into certain situations. Lots of fun. We go into more detail about some of the different mechanics and things for this. Some other things that we want to highlight. This is not just for warlocks. Any player of any class can get drawn into these sorts of things. Jenny D had a great video recently talking about Abria Iyengar's DMing. And she talked about this idea of giving players sort of meta choices at the table. How badly do you want this? What are you willing to let happen? Now, in that example, she was speaking as a DM, sort of above table. But you don't have to do that. You can totally put this in the mouth of a divinity, or a devil, or an angel, or a fae, or some slumbering eldritch monstrosity. There's all kinds of folks who can give those kinds of opportunities. So lots of options. It's great when players are pushed to the brink. It's also great for you as the DM. If you don't want to TPK your party, a rescue from a dragon or an archfiend or something, not only does it keep the story rolling, but it also gives you the opportunity to set hooks for the future. It's doing a thing you already wanted to do, but now the players are grateful for it, for your mercy, which you're going to show them in the long run was not a mercy. But that's the fun. You get to operate at this sort of thematic level, and there's all kinds of gifts you can offer. And again, a lot of times it's things that are sort of meta. Maybe a player is, tired of their class. Okay, well, if you're tired of being a fighter, you need to go find, say you want to be an Eldritch Knight. All right, you need to go find a hag who's going to teach you magic, but it's going to come at a cost. Oh, you're tired of being a cleric. You want to be a warlock. All right, you need to go find a sentient sword. Now you're a hexblade. These are things that that sometimes let you do something you wanted to do as the DM anyway, but you get to put it in the context of the story, create drama, create tension, keep things moving towards maximum chaos and maximum fun. So we have a whole list of different things that can be given. I'm also going to jump back over here. This is one of my favorite sections. Boons, banes, and bewilderments. So we have gifts from every divinity and every patron in the book. But sometimes you want things that are outside that system. So we give you all kinds of great options. So here's a fun one. Carved in memory. You can always recall any words spoken to you by your patron or divinity. This effect cannot be overcome by any effect short of a wish spell. This is perfect. This is fun. It's flavorful. Hit the whole party with a modify memory. Now they're confused. They don't remember things, but the character with this remembers what their divinity or patron said to them. Now you've got this way to sort of pull them back to the story. And there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. Martyr lets you basically burn hit dice and take damage to cast spells. Now, we really tried to scale this well. You're going to hurt yourself bad. Once you start getting up towards a 5th level spell, there's a good chance you're going to off yourself on accident. Very, very Blood Hunter-esque. But it gives you some options. A lot of these are also about giving players tools to interact with their patron and for you to interact with them. So something like daily rites. Super basic. It just lets your character get a small bonus in exchange for performing daily rites and rituals. It's flavorful, it's got role-playing power, and it has a small mechanical benefit to encourage players to stay at it. We also have some other fun stuff in here. Other boons. Can't be teleported. Now, this is what we have as a mixed boon. Not all of these are 100% great. So, ageless, you no longer age. That's pretty, universally good. But not being able to be teleported, that could get interesting. We also have some stuff that is fully negative, the banes of this mix. So we might look at something like Beast Foe. All animals hate you. If someone makes a pact with some creepy, terrifying, otherworldly entity, this would be a good bane. Or it's also great for like a druid who has really pissed off a nature spirit. Again, the goal here is not a bunch of new feats to have to balance. This is about things that reflect something cool about this patron or divinity and help set up interesting relational tools for you and the players to play with. So we'll come back next time talking about factions and subclasses, which is one of my favorite sections, and there's lots of fun stuff there. But for now, I'm going to prepare to sign off. A couple things to know. The exclusive pre-order bonus chapters are starting to go out literally as of today. I've seen the new bonus chapter. It looks awesome. There's a new piece of art in there from Luke depicting the heaven-rending blade god, which looks freaking awesome. He took it in a direction I wouldn't have expected, and it's so much cooler. We also have a new category of patrons in there, some extra patrons and divinities, including some of my favorites that didn't make the book originally. And also, there is a special custom magic item for every single patron and divinity in the entire book and the bonus section. You only get this if you pre-order and you send confirmation of your pre-order to info@topicsmedia.com. That's info@topicsmedia.com. If you go to my social media, it's all over the place there. But get on it, pre-order, and please let your friends know. We can't make Amazon send something out for us, so we're relying on word of mouth for you all to help get the word out. These are going to cut off once we get to the release date of August 18th. So please get the word out, get your pre-orders in. Doesn't matter where you pre-order. You can do something like Bookshop, which is a great sort of collection that supports local bookstores. You can also literally go to your local bookstore. It's not AI, it's a real person on that email. So if you can show some clear indicator that you pre-ordered, we will get you the bonus chapter. Also, if enough folks get the bonus chapters, we have some cool extra bonuses to send out. We've got some cross-promotional stuff with some other TTRPG folks that I really appreciate. And there are even more really awesome divinities and patrons waiting around the corner. So I hope you all will help me spread the word. And be sure to check out social media. On YouTube, I've been putting up some patron songs. Those are not AI. That is me on a composing app, clickety-clacking out one note at a time to have some cool tunes for our patrons and divinities. Pull that up over here. Let's pull up Anton's tune. This has been one of my favorites, just to show you all that it's happening. I hacked this all out by hand for you all. This song is called Shine/Sweat. It is the theme of our sexy vampire. And go down here. This is where the electric guitar kicks in. I love this tune. I hope you go check it out. We have tunes for Anton Redmont, the Carvers, Salachi, and Marisle so far. So there's more on the way. I've been really enjoying doing these. I hope you're enjoying them. And there'll be more previews and things. So keep an eye on that YouTube page. That's just Hagiologist. You can also find me on Instagram, colby.whittaker, just like on the book. I'm trying to sort of cross-post everything. We've also got some previews coming up there for some of the patrons and entities. So, I've said a lot. I'm going to get off of here and get back to work. But I hope you all are pre-ordering. I hope you're enjoying the stuff we're putting out. If you have any questions, drop me a message on Instagram, find me on Blue Sky, shoot me an email. Contact info is on the website. Let me know if you want to see anything in particular in the videos. And that's it. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye, Internet.